Interesting question. We can start by giving the hypothesis its due. Morals are subjective, whereas ethics are objective. Therefore, one might assume that something that feels good to someone would always be moral, though it might not be ethical. However, I think we can look a bit further. Something that would feel good to someone wicked would probably not be considered moral, whereas something that would feel good to someone pure-hearted would likely be considered moral. However, being pure of heart is not an ethical virtue. It'd probably be unsustainable, as well as you a target for exploitation, possibly not that funny or chill either, etc. Thus, being in a state of wickedness, where doing immoral things feels good, would be a vice. Meanwhile, being in a state of pure-heartedness, where everything that's even the slightest bit immoral, by their own definition, as morality is subjective, I believe, leaves you feeling existentially bad, can be considered an anti-virtue. The virtue, then, being in the middle, but closer to pure-heartedness, we may call stoutness. The stout person, then, would be one who generally feels bad when they do something that they themselves would consider immoral, but has a bit of wiggle room. They can feel good even when they've done something slightly bad, but overall feel bad if they do something too immoral. In conclusion, then, if you're pure-hearted, then yes. If you don't feel bad doing something, then it was morally correct. If you're wicked, the opposite is true. You'll feel good doing anything that you yourself consider immoral. As for ethics, since in my opinion ethics are more interesting to look at than morality, though that wasn't exactly the question Duncan was asking, you'll never be in a position where everything that feels good is both morally and ethically correct. This is because the ethical thing is not to be pure-hearted, but to be stout. This then means that the stout person will sometimes, but not often, do things that they themselves consider a little immoral and not feel that bad about it. They'll be acting ethically, since being stout is still the virtue, but they will have done something that doesn't make them feel bad, but is also not morally correct. Thus, if you're an ethically virtuous person, then the answer is no.